Okay, everybody, we are back again, and it is time to play some War Robots. It's July 4th weekend. Tomorrow's July 4th. We've got an event coming that's going to be starting tomorrow to be running most of the month of July. I haven't really looked into what the prizes are going to be or anything like that. I'm assuming that it's going to feature somehow, in some way, shape, or form, the new weapon, the Tempest, that's going to be coming out, that's been on the test server for a while, and the new dash bots. Other than that, I really haven't been following the news too much on what it's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be another one of those things where you build up points to buy those random box drops or something along those lines. So, my hopes are not too high for getting too much good stuff, but I'm sure I'll get something interesting out of it, and we'll see how it goes from there. Just taking a look around, I don't see any of the clanmates on yet. I saw a few people were on earlier tonight. Looked like they were teaming up when I was checking in on my upgrades, and I know I've been on and off a few times during the day, and I saw some other people on and off as well. But for now, as usual, I'll just start off. I'll play a couple of solo games with whoever I get randomly matched with, and we'll see where we go from there. And as people join in, we can pick up. So just real quick, just to catch up on where I am. Oh, excuse me. Just put my league standings up. I am in Silver League 1. I am getting pretty close to moving up to Gold 3. So, I'm about 50 points away. I've been up and down, so I've been kind of hovering between 50 and 70 points away for a while. But, it looks like I should be getting there if I can keep a good streak going. In any case, that's enough talk for now. Let's cancel that. Just want to move that out of the way. Let's get right into the action. And Happy Burger's first to check in. How you doing? Hold on, I gotta fix this. My screen's gonna go blank for a second, so I can fix my. Once in a while, that YouTube gaming taskbar kind of gets stuck on. It's more annoying than anything else, so. Bleach is awesome. How you doing? Let's see, bad guys are hiding around the corner. Alright, at least I didn't go down alone on the first try. Made this account for fun. Well, you've got the right name for it. Well, that was painful. Someone's got leveled up rockets. Oh, everybody's got anciles tonight. All right, surprisingly, as much as I got my butt kicked all over the field, that turned out to be a win. Not my best first fight of the night. Did you hear about the event? Yeah, before you signed on, I was mentioning a little bit about it. I didn't get any much of the real details. I'm assuming it's going to be something similar to the last events where we're trading points for boxes or something along those lines. Yeah, the only thing I know for sure is the new weapon and the new bots are going to be showing up. Not sure if they're going to be random drops in boxes or if you're going to have to do those crazy tasks left and right. I hope they don't do. I hope they don't make you buy boxes for gold like they did last event, because that was pretty horrible. Because basically in that case you would spend 10 or 100 gold on a random drop box and then get, you'd spend 100 gold for a box, and that box would then give you a random roll that would have, say, 60 gold in it. Now that feels like a ripoff. If you're building up, tokens or whatever new points they make up for the event, and you trade your tokens in and you get 60 gold, well, you got 60 gold. You don't feel like you wasted, 40 gold. So that's where I felt that they kind of went wrong, and that's just, it's just kind of silly. I think is if you're gonna make the boxes have a prize, it should be more than at least equal to what you're spending on the box. If you're gonna using the in-game currency for that. Aphids don't hit them. Yeah, that would be a big problem. I think the aphids are in trouble though, because I've been noticing lots of situations where aphids seem to connect and either don't do damage or just miss. It's been popping up more and more. I've seen griffins in the air. I hit them with an aphid. Well, I fire an aphid at them. While they're in the air, I watch the missiles connect with them while they're jumping and not do damage. And dodge. Don't fast screen. Hold on. Hold on, I'm glitching again. Yeah, Frank, if you want to get ready and set so that I can bring you in next battle. Hello, Vladimir. How you doing? All right, let's get back in the fight. Let's see, Rhino versus Carnage. That's really a matter of play style. Carnage is one of those hard to go wrong with bots. It's just good all around. Very customizable. Rhino tends to do one or two things well. If you don't have a Carnage already, and you like to brawl, the Carnage is the way to go. Rhino I found takes getting used to. Although it can be an excellent brawler as well. It does take getting used to because operating the shield is a little tricky and they're not quite as tough as you'd think they are. Yep, signal's a little choppy today. Come on. Yeah, well, Carnage, you've got the energy shield, which helps. Especially against all the splash damage out there. While rhinos are tending to get eaten up by them. Which is probably why it seems like rhinos are harder to play. Oh, looks like we cleaned house. One bad guy left. In the right situations, the Rhino is really tough. But with all the rockets out there, it's harder and harder to get it in the right situations. Yeah. Rhino is fun. It's worth getting, but I think Carnage is kind of hard to do without. So most people seem to be really into the way you can brawl, especially with the two Thunders. But then you'd go to double Zeus, and you've got something that can kill at range. You go double Trident, and you've got a sniper that can move around. Double Trebuchet, yeah, is fun too. Basically, with two heavy slots weapon slots on it, you can do a lot with that. Yeah, Carnages are actually very popular. I like having the, even though my Carnage isn't leveled up all that much, I still like having it in there because, sometimes you just need to, like Dead City, you'll get people will be camping your spawn quite a bit. And, let me see something. Come on. Oh, this tablet's not letting me. Yeah, I still have Wi-Fi. Alright. Sorry about that. Yeah, signal's a little choppy today, so forgive me if it glitches a little bit. Yeah, there's lots of Carnages on the field. Sometimes, you get on Dead City where it's easy for your spawn to get overrun, or somebody sits in the spawn and starts blasting people as they whoop, I'm sorry. I'm going to cancel that. Come on, cancel. Sorry, Frank. You wanted to join in. You guys got me talking about Carnages. But yeah, so nothing clears out spawn campers like two Thunders to the face. That's all I've got to say about that. Hey, it works out of the box. You can go in there, start blasting things. All right, back on the moon. Yeah, I was actually fooling around with my kid who plays on his other tablet. Um, he likes thunders. It's pretty much his favorite weapon. I taught him what an RDB Griffin is too. So now he thinks that Griffins are awesome. He's playing on a Kindle tablet, which should be the same server as Android, but something is wacky. It's not even giving him the option to squad for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. But you know, he's having fun playing just on his own. In fact, I restarted over with a new account on iOS on my old iPad, and I've just been basically splitting it with him. So, first thing I did as soon as I got that leveled up high enough to buy a Griffin was put together an RDB Griffin, and then let my son pilot it, and he did almost as good as I did first time out. Hey, not bad for a 7-year-old kid. Come on, video output. Logo away. Come on. Ah, it's locking up on me again. There we go. Bad time to lock up on me. Really bad time for the controls to lock up on me. Yeah. Ooh, what was that? That was a nice bit of lag. I just jumped from standing and shooting to being at my hangar again. Alright, let's get around the corner and give this guy another blast. Okay, my stream health is looking better now that I'm not moving around and shooting, so hopefully it stays that way. A big loss there. Not a lot of damage, but then again, my controls stopped working when I turned around the corner and ran into 3 bots. So I can't complain too much. Hey Frank, did we lose you on that one? Try inviting you back in. Let's see, did we lose Frank? Oh, there he is. Alright, got you back. Alright, let's try that again. Alright, I'm going to change it up a little bit. Let's start off with something with a little long range. Oh, there's a interesting carnage right there. Trebuchet carnage. Alright, that was a costly little bug squash. Alright. Changed it up this time. Usually I don't lead off with my heaviest stuff, but thought I'd do something a little different. So I could put out a decent amount of damage that time. That GWZ guy, he was a guy with the Trebuchet Carnage. Alright, Frank, we'll see you around then. Always free to join in. Oh, he's in a Gareth now. Alright, speaking of carnages, here we are back with my double thunder fun bot, as I like to call it. Just because I like the sound of this thing when I fire it. Oh, thank you very much, Night Striker. Alright, we got reds all over the middle beacon. And no cover for me. There we go. I get to cover just in time to die. Alright, down to my last spot, which is usually the one I lead off with. And there's Frank still sitting up there in the middle of the game. Yes, I do have Facebook. If you go back, one of the old streams I'd showed it. I think my icon is different than it was then, so... Ay, I got murdered. My username in Facebook is same as I use in YouTube. That was pretty brutal. When the entire when the entire red team shoots at you at the same time, that's pretty much what it looks like. And that was a big loss. Okay. Let's see. Frank has left the building. Not seeing anybody else online just yet. So let me check my chats. Alright, we're going to disband the squad. Let's see from chats, a couple of folks were looking for squad battles earlier today. Good to see the team is up and running well. A couple of times I poked my head on, I saw 4 or 5 people on at a time that looked like they were working together, so which is cool. My icon in Facebook right now, it's picture of a blue person, Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy, if that makes sense. If you see a face that's blue, that's me. And I am on Android. Hi, how are you doing, Ricky Lowell 40? I am playing on Android. I do have a second account on iOS, but that's not the one I stream from, so... Okay, note to self. Don't forget about the guys behind you when you chase the runner. Yeah, not sure if you were listening before. My icon, it'll look like a blue face. It'll be the blue guy from Guardians of the Galaxy is what I'm using as my Facebook picture right now. Alright, not a bad run for the Carnage. Yeah, Bleach, if you can kind of talk him through it while I drive. If you can kind of talk him through how to figure out which one's me on Facebook. Looks like he's having trouble finding me. Alright, that's a loss, but I think... Felt like I did a lot of damage. We'll see how that turns out when we see the stats. All that for one kill. Alright, I'm going to go check, see who's online again, real quick. I guess I missed a boat. I probably should have streamed a couple of hours ago when everybody was online. Alright, I'll keep jumping into maps with randoms until random picks until I get tired. Okay, same map again. Juan Mendoza, how you doing? Is it weird that you just saw a War Robots ad? Well, not at all. If Google Ads is doing what it's supposed to, you should be more likely to see War Robots ads when you're actually playing War Robots. And I tell you, Google ads can be kind of scary. I do have ads turned on, but I tell you, even if I get a lot of hits, I'll get maybe, you know, a quarter in a month. So, not in it for the money. It's just I'm not gonna, if I can get a few cents off of it, I will. Ugh. That did not seem like a whole lot of hits before I died there. Well, thank you for clicking on an ad or whatever it is you did. Yeah, I jumped from like 97 to, say, 105 pretty quickly. Want to get away from... That was probably a Carnage pinging me from the side there. Okay, somebody just abandoned ship up there. Ouch. That guy is really annoying me. Alright, that was fast and loud. Let's see who we can follow here. And this Carnage with 2 tridents is pretty good argument for the Carnage as a good overall bot. So he's doing a good job of keeping out of the main range of this guy and dishing out damage. And he's just working this tunnel. And he's got a friend. Well, you just saw there in that tunnel, that was a good situation for a Raijin too, especially a Thunder Raijin. If you go back, just anytime you have a tight spot and you want to hold it, nothing does that like an entrenched Raijin with Thunders. If you go back and watch that Save the Rhinos video that I did, there's a good scene in there. It's the clip is really only half of what actually happened in that battle. I may have to go out and I may have to go through my files and see if I can find the whole clip. Let's see, I was in a Rhino, that alleyway in the middle of the power plant is at one end of it. It was getting rushed by about 3 bots from the red team. And a Raijin walks up next to me, basically pushed me out of the way, popped up his shield, stood there and just started blasting everything. And then the 2 of us just kind of stood there at the back end of that alleyway and blasted everybody who came around the corner for a good 60 seconds straight. That was a lot of fun. That was a fun moment. But yeah, the video clip I took of it really only had about half of what actually happened. We both ended up getting killed, but it was a lot of carnage before we went down. I don't remember who the guy was. It was just somebody in a random match, but he obviously knew how to play a Raijin. They don't get a lot of opportunities to shine, so it's nice to see them get to do their thing well once in a while. And thanks, Happy. It'd be nice to get more subs, but you know what? I'll take what I can get at this point. Again, if people like what they see, you know, if people like what they see, more people will come. More people will sub. And right there's a good example why a lot of people don't use the Galahad that much anymore. I wasn't even getting hit with a lot of rockets. And I still went down pretty quickly, even though my front shields were taking the brunt of that. You know, it's not like I was getting sideswiped. Again, I broke a major rule of thumb for Griffins there. Instead of holding off and using my jets to get out of trouble. I use my jets to get into trouble. Alright, I'm stuck to this griffin. It would really be nice if I could actually play this game instead of get... Yeah, that really just sucked. I was somehow attached to that griffin. I couldn't move. I got dragged along with him on his misadventures. Okay, I was trying to use my sprint to get out of trouble, like I'm supposed to, except I was a little too late. Really should be trying to get out of trouble before you're actually in too deep. Yeah, got lit up with lasers. I look all discolored. Alright. That fight had some of the most bizarre moments I've ever seen. I've never been attached to a griffin before. Yeah, no small wonder that I got a really bad kill count on that one. I did okay on damage at least. Alright, let's see. Do I want to change anything up? I'm really thinking about just throwing my stalker in the lineup and see what I can do with it. But you know what? I'm not going to mess... I don't think I'm going to mess with it right now. Yeah, actually, you know, I've had a couple of times where I was getting a little glitchy. Usually it's been pretty good. And hello to Adrian. Oh, there I go again, showing why Galahad is not a very favored bot these days. Thank you, Adrian. I've been... If you don't mind watching me get shot down a lot, yeah, it's a good stream. Yeah, the other night I was joking that this live stream sometimes shows off why my wife doesn't let me drive when we're all together as a family. It's because I can't talk and drive at the same time. And hey, I have my days when it works and my days when it doesn't, so... I still haven't killed that sniper that I've been trying to hit since I ran the Fujin. So. Once again, I'm going to use my sprint to get into trouble rather than get out of trouble. Now I can use sprint to get out of trouble. Or probably more likely into more trouble. Okay. As much as I really like my Carnage, I definitely need to do more upgrades on that. That's actually, I think, the lowest level bot I've got in my, I think that's the lowest level bot I've got in my hangar right now. Uh-oh. I'm getting flanked. Now I'm going to go down real quick. Alright, living fast and hard again. Alright, let's find someone on the blue team I can find who's actually in the fray. Aphid Patton, haven't seen one of those in a while. Alright, machine guns on on a Griffin. Maybe not the most effective thing, but it sounds like it sounds fun when you get to fire them. But it's really the DB Griffin up ahead that's doing most of the work. Well, was. Dragon Slayer, how you doing? This is a messy, messy match. Yes, Bleach is Awesome wins the award tonight for most interesting online name. And this is a case of red team has just been super aggressive and overran everything again. And Adrian, well, much appreciated having you show up to check out mine, so my live stream, so welcome anytime. Okay. Find it hard to believe this match is still going on. This is pretty brutal. Plasma Griffin's about to get... Whoa, Plasma Griffin survives that encounter. And I think that's finally it. No. And hello to you too, William. If you're just joining, you've just missed out on the blue team getting its butts kicked all over the city. Yep, so first time I've been under 1,600 points in a while. And hello, Mike Android. How you doing, too? Let's see. I'm going to take a quick look. I don't think any of... Let's see if any of my clan mates have been on. One or two of us were on earlier, squatting up. But, yeah, I think everybody's gone to bed, and I'm the only holdout. So, like I said, as long as people are watching and as long as I'm still up for it, I'll just keep... dropping in and doing more random battles. Alright, I think this is the first power plant of the night.
Just Griffins to the left of me, Griffins to the right of me. Just when I thought I had a clear shot at the beacons, I'd get jumped by another Griffin. Literally. Hey, for a miracle that Galahad held up a lot longer than I thought it would this time. Like the start time, I think, was listed 7 UTC. Not quite sure what that translates to for your whatever the local time zones are. Where is it? There it is. I'm just happy that Adrian's willing to watch my bad driving. Alright. Let's go for the carnage. This is a bloody battle, but it's been a fun one so far. Not very imaginative this time. Running straight in was not the best idea. Well, you know, once in a while you get stuck in that mode where you think, oh, just one more shot and I've got it. You throw caution to the wind and just go for it, and you get splattered all over the pavement. I'm seeing lots of reds around, not a lot of blue. It's got me a little worried here. Alright, that was a loss, but that was a very fun fight. I had good moments and I had bad moments, so numbers are looking pretty good. Hey, all right, I did do well, despite despite charging directly into somebody with a carnage until he killed me. Adrian has 56,000 followers. Wow, man. Only 100 here, but, you know, I'll take what I can get. Alright, take a quick peek at clan, see if anybody else is online. Probably not. But still want to give them a chance to join in. Alright, keep going. And back on Springfield. Ah, nobody's going to... somebody is going to the right, okay. Alright, that was fast and painful. And hello, Bryson. I think that's first seen you comment tonight. We're here in Springfield, so the guy that I was chasing after went the other way. So I'm going to backdoor him. Ah, cut the wrong way when I jumped. Alright, that was supposed to be a jump more to the right so I could land near the beacon, but didn't work out that way. Why Terran and Pin? I was trying to go 50-50 so I could not be stuck in a situation where I couldn't where I couldn't deal with some sort of shielding. It works out okay. It's just the only problem is it's not great at one thing. Haha, crabby, yeah. It's like when you make a nice big jump and you get caught on an antenna on top of one of the buildings. And hello, Clemente, as well. Alright, that's another loss. Not racking up wins tonight, but... Not racking up a lot of wins, but we're having fun. That's the name of the game. Not a lot of damage that time. And as low as my score was, I'm still middle of the pack, which doesn't say volumes for the team that I had. And Bleach is back. Well, at least some of you get that joke. Okay, let's go again. Okay, power plant's a fun. I think power plant's one of my more favorite maps. I think. Yeah, I get what you're saying for the most part, because it looks like I'm using pins as a brawling weapon too much. And in this case, well, on this bot, I'm mismatched with I'm mismatched ranges. I don't know. A lot of people in the upper leagues going still doing all plasma on Griffins. I'm seeing more rockets in different combinations on Griffins these days. All right, let's see if I can crawl all the way. Oops. Don't want to get stuck to a griffin again like I did a couple of matches ago. Oh. Yeah, even though it's mismatched, I do like having the Orkin on this Fujin. But honestly, if I had enough Orkins, I'd go all Orkins on this thing. I actually have an all plasma Rhino that's just not on my hanger. I was using it about a week ago. I built that long before the rockets got buffed, and I just never changed it. It's still hard to use, but in the right situations, it can work. Alright, let's get back in the fight. Yeah, there's a little glitch in that spot on the where those 3-round grates are, where I just get stuck on them once in a while. And I thought that was the kind of thing that they were fixing last update, but did not. Ah. Couldn't leave me alone long enough to finish dueling with that Griffin. He was probably going to beat me anyway, but... Alright, let's see what this Raijin's up to. Doing what Raijins always do. Welcome aboard Gamer Blaze. Thanks for watching. Okay, I just gotta take another quick look, see if anybody else from the clan is online. Not yet. And let's get right back to the fun. And Dead City, still hoping for a win. Haven't had a win in a while. Yeah, try not to get too hung up on league points or wins and losses, but I don't like to take a beating constantly. So let's see if we can do something about it this time around. Come on, die already. At this point, I'm just trying to stay alive long enough to do some more damage. Or maybe sneak a beacon before I go down. Ouch. Alright, let's get back in with the Griffin. Somebody's up on the mountain. And I got stuck again. Ah. Alright, let's go for the carnage. Fast typing is not a bad skill to have. On Kill the Wounded. Alright, I'll take 10 league points on a loss any day. Not doing extreme amounts of damage, but I think I'm holding up okay. Yeah. Funny things that happen when you're firing thunders. It sounds great on the headphones, too, when it's shaking like that. I don't know, I got caught in that weird position where I'm firing a heavy weapon and I'm pinched between another robot and a wall. Alright, let's get back into it. Nothing says fun like another battle. All right, Adrian. Thanks for coming. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. It's been fun chatting with you, man. Save Adrian's hands. Yeah. So long, Mr. Panda. Have a good night. Shot down. Roman. Yeah, we're playing on Android right now. Yeah, this game is currently on Android. I do have an alt that I run on iOS from time to time. That's much lower level. But if you see me streaming, I'm always streaming on Android. Basically, this is what I consider my main. Do I stream from cell phone or tablet? I'm actually streaming from my tablet. And I'm on Wi-Fi. I can't stand playing certain games on the phone just because the screen's way too small. And this usually performance gets a little choppy sometimes when I'm streaming, but it's usually pretty good on the tablet. Yeah, I drive bad enough on a big screen. Well, on a big or rather medium-sized screen, you don't want to see me see how badly I drive when I have to squint. Alright, guys, finally. Adrian leaves the stream, and I suddenly start getting wins. Figures, guess I'm getting performance anxiety tonight. Anyway, I think I'm good for a couple more matches, so I'm just gonna keep dropping in until someone cries surrender, or I pass out, or whatever. Back in Shenzhen. Up to 110, not bad, not bad. Getting there. Alright, let's go around the side and pick up a beacon. Okay, we're deep in enemy territory now. Let's get in here and backdoor someone. Griffin, 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 yep. It's a great map to play an RDB Griffin. If you get a Griffin up on one of these buildings right on the end, it's perfect range to just keep dropping fire into that doorway, into those openings. Alright, that was a case of me not paying attention and thinking that I still needed to capture the center beacon. I think it's habitual. Whenever I get out in the middle, I just start going for that beacon. Jumped with a rhino. Yeah, I had to... You missed it earlier tonight, actually, on this map. I somehow managed to get my Fujin glued to a griffin, and I jumped along with him several times. Come on, buddy, die. Thank you. Hello there. Alright, that looked like that's probably going to end up being a decent score.
Picked up a little gold. Good. Good news there. Okay, what time do we got? Well, I think I'm gonna do one more match before we call it a night. Hopefully, this ends up being a good one, so we can end on a positive note. All right. Got my obligatory beacon. Let's try and get in this fight now. This looks like it's going to get messy. That was not pleasant. All right. All right, now Fujin's been, I think, my most consistent bot so far. Even though I've got a problem dealing with energy shields. Double kill. I don't think I got credit for it, but... Alright, let's go Carnage.